Well, hello everybody. Hello Instagram Live. Welcome to this week's episode of Marlie's Corner. My name is David Gimmis, founder and CEO here at paw.com. And of course, as usual, this is my dog, my best friend, and our chief product tester, Marlie, coming to you from her favorite spot in the office, as you can see, talking about everything pets and having great guests come on each week to provide information and stories. Awesome, fun stuff for pet parents everywhere tuning in. And this week is no different. We have a really great, famous, knowledgeable guest. Her name is Nicole Ellis. She is a celebrity dog trainer out of LA. Has done a lot of cool stuff. Most recently being on a Amazon Prime show called The Pack, which is similar to Amazing Race, but you do it with your animal. If you haven't checked it out, it is super cool. Do so. You will not regret it. So without further ado, we will get Nicole here teamed up with us. All right. Marlie, you ready? Hello. Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. We are having a mini vacation, so there might be
are you?
in at some point.
Where are you guys?
We are in Paso Robles with a bunch of friends with dogs. So I have two of my dogs here. Rossi, do you want to say hi? He's a crazy color at the moment because he just
Hey,
show.
Is that a dyed ears?
Yeah, he's completely different colors. He's on the new show Pooch Perfect. He plays Rebel Wilson's dog and got all sorts of crazy colors on him. My other dog looks like a skunk at the moment, so we're a little bit different today.
That, and you know what? I cannot wait to get into that. But before we do, for everybody watching, Nicole, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi everyone. My name is Nicole Ellis. I'm a certified professional dog trainer, author, pet lifestyle expert. I have two dogs and a very fat horse. And my dogs do TV production work, therapy work. I train service dogs, therapy dogs, working dogs, regular pet dogs. And someone said they love Pooch Perfect. Thanks, team. And yeah, I've trained everything from bears to tigers. Now I just focus on dogs because, well, that's my favorite. And obviously some training with the horse as well.
Wow. Lots done there. Nicole, how did you get into animal training?
Kind of, I'd say almost fell into it. I came from a big family of animal lovers, and they definitely did not work in the pet industry or anything, but I went to university and at the same time started studying exotic animals and began working with bears and tigers mostly. And at the same time, I got my other dog, Maggie, who's died like a skunk at the moment. I'll bring her up in a moment.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Animal shelter. And I decided to see what I could do with her. And from there, it just kind of went crazy. And it was an amazing experience. I've kind of just deep dived into dog training to see what I could learn, who I could learn from. And like all of us, we're always learning. Yeah. And now I focus just on the doggies and I grew up acting and modeling. And so I had a mentor who trained dogs for TV work. She did Marlie and Me, and she did The Dog on Frasier. Oh, so cool. I had these amazing mentors to look up to. And I was like, oh my gosh, being on set's second home to me. So I'd love to see what I can do with my own dog. And now something we both enjoy together, being on set and working. I know, thank you.
That's great. That's fantastic. And I mentioned about the pack. So in our introduction, I mentioned the Amazon show,
yeah.
The pack, and how the concept of being an amazing race style show, but with your dog. I can imagine that's an incredible experience. Maybe you could let us know how that went and what that bond is like between, dog and handler as you're doing all these amazing racing.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know, the pack is basically the amazing race, but instead of two humans, it's your best friend, your dog, and you competing. We had 10 teams competing, and we went to 9 different countries around the world, and they compete in challenges in each country. And in the end, the winner wins $500,000, But what's amazing is every country we went to, we donated money locally to animal shelters or pets in need. And at the end, another $250,000 got donated to another animal. But what's amazing about this is they were all regular pets. So this wasn't dog trainers' dogs who know things. And so myself and my friend Nick Benger, who is the other dog trainer, we trained those teams plus some extra teams to try to see who would be the best fit. And we trained everything you can imagine. Some of these dogs didn't know lay down, for example. And so definitely a wide array. And we taught them all the basics as well as cute tricks. We taught them to paddleboard with their dogs, kayak with their dogs. We did zip lining, rappelling, scent work, which is obviously something they've never done before. And it's a little bit interesting. You see the show and you can see them doing these crazy things, but really it was weeks and weeks of training to make sure the dogs were confident and comfortable. And part of the reason we had extra dogs during training was to make sure we could find the right dogs and the right partners that would actually enjoy this crazy adventure. Besides from the training part, myself and Nick were involved from the very beginning when it was just an idea of a show, when we were still going to Amazon and discussing things. And it's never been done before. Nobody's ever done a show where you're traveling to all these countries. So there were so many logistics from dog safety. Nick and I came up with like a 30-something page manual on dog safety, how to keep our animals safe. Simple things is where we were keeping all their belongings. We had so much gear. We actually had a girl Brandeis who managed just the dog equipment because we had so many harnesses, leads, like things like that. And then how we're getting dog food in all these other countries and dog treats and just so much to do. And then getting them used to cameras because these are not animals working. And now we have GoPros and teams literally chasing them through cities. But definitely an amazing adventure. And you can really see the bond grow throughout the episodes, which is something I love. Especially during the training stage, even they were all shocked about how much they learned. They basically went to like an orientation boot camp with Nick and I for 2 weeks. And all we did was basically train all day and spend time with our dogs. And they were like, I did not know my dogs could do this much stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's incredible. And throughout the show, you see the people learning to trust their dogs more. For example, we did scent work and you can't find it, obviously. Your dog has to find it and you're just trusting your dog. And that's so amazing and really grows the bond. And what's amazing also is that anybody could do these things, anybody at home. And I think that's what it shows. These aren't really special trained dogs with 3 years of training. Literally, you could go tomorrow and say, I'm interested in training tricks and go learn tricks. And that's going to build your dog's confidence and it's going to build your bond together. And that's so unique and amazing.
That's very cool. So whenever there's something on the TV at home where there's animals, Marlie freaks out and watches it like a human. So I think this weekend we're going to binge watch The Pack and she'll probably be tuned into every episode.
Yeah, that's Rossi. He's very food motivated. I post a lot of stories when we were watching them on Pooch Perfect and I have like a bag of treats sitting there and I'm just like recording him for being quiet. Maggie could care less.
Right.
Losing his mind, all the dogs. But by the end, I'm like, it's a great training experience to get him to sit and be quiet and might have to watch the episode twice for me to hear anything. But by the end, he just sits there. So can't complain. It's a great opportunity.
Awesome. And Nicole, so outside of working with pets and of course the shows, you're also an author. Working Like a Dog. It's a book that you wrote that kind of encapsulates the relationship between working dogs and their handlers.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story. So Working Like a Dog is a coffee table book showing all the many ways and jobs that dogs do. And there's so many out there that people are unaware of. I mean, we all see working dogs and we're like, oh, it's a guide dog for a blind person. And there's so much more dogs can do. They're absolutely incredible. So a friend of mine, Brandeis, she actually got bit in the face by a dog, not trained dog, and she was terrified of dogs. And I was like, no, dogs can do amazing things with a little bit of training. And I was like, let's go meet some of them. So her and I are a little crazy, and we literally got in her Volvo and we drove across the United States out of our own pocket, just meeting dogs with jobs and photographing them. And I was like, this is a great way. There's so many people faking service dogs and things like that. So I was like, this is an opportunity for us to show people how amazing these real working dogs are and how important they are to people's lives. So we photographed everything from bed bug detection dogs to cancer detecting that detect cancer earlier than machines do in humans. to peanut allergen dogs, latex allergen. We photographed a dog, Spirit, and the owner couldn't leave the house without the dog. She was like life-threatening to latex, and the dog would detect literally balloons a block.
Incredible. Wow.
So it's really, we wanted to show the dogs in a beautiful light. So it's all portrait style portraits of all these dogs in their working gear, vests, harnesses, etc. And then we talk about the breed and the name, and if they're with a company. It's called Working Like a Dog, for those of you that are asking.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out.
In the back, we go over what all those jobs mean. Like, what is an article detection dog? Article detection dogs usually finding weapons for the police, like guns and stuff. So they can train to find incredible things, these dogs. So it was a really amazing adventure, and I love educating people. Where are you going? On what our animals really are capable of. And there's so many different breeds. We have cute little tiny fluffy white dogs that are finding cancer. I mean, it's not just labs and it's not just golden retrievers. And any dog can do these things, but faking it is not worth it because that dog could be saving somebody's life.
Yeah.
And so your dog distracting them is really huge and not good, so to speak.
No, I totally agree with you. And speaking of working dogs, can we see the skunk?
Yeah, Maggie, come here. She's it's been 3 months, so it's a little grown out. This is 3 months later. She's a white dog.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I
Very
know.
cute. You pull it off.
And she's like, thank you. So she's on episode 1 of Pooch Perfect. Everyone can see her getting dyed. Rossi opens the whole show.
So how is their relationship with the horse? Or do they have one at all?
They both do. Rossi loves the horse. He actually will ride the horse. And he'll ride him by himself and go around. And they kiss each other on the face. It's really sweet. I wouldn't trust any horse, and I wouldn't trust any dog. Maggie doesn't like the horse getting in her face, so I watch her more. But my horse is very well trained to be good with these sort of things. So he'll let the dog literally just walk around on him, and pretty amazing. And they have a great relationship. My horse is also clicker trained. So he's trained to like stay and touch, and he's done real photo shoots. He's a very food motivated horse, so that helps. He's eaten like cat food and roses and things that horse should not eat, that he has found. So food motivated is a plus for any animal, including the horse, but he loves to train. And I'd say teaching him's a little bit different than a dog. They learn a little bit differently, but you can see the moment, that aha moment where he actually understands what we're teaching.
Wow.
And my favorite parts of dog training is working with any dog, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, got it. That's amazing. And
awesome.
fun just to see that grow and that light bulb go off for them.
So some of our viewers might be in the process or thinking about introducing their current pet to another animal. Maybe not a horse, probably not a horse.
Probably
but
not.
It could be another animal. Do you have any tips, Nicole, on how? Actually, my brother has a cat that he's living out in Burbank, and they just got another cat. So he's in the process. So maybe if he's watching, you can provide some tips of how they can integrate them into one happy family.
Absolutely. And with anything with animals, the best thing we can do is go slow. We want to set them up for success. And how we do that is not pushing them. We push them and we're just going to create fear or cause issues, and we don't want that. So if we're doing dogs, for example, 2 dogs meeting, I always let the dogs smell each other, usually smell the butts, not the faces, because that's rude. I wouldn't want someone coming right up in my face. And then we go for a walk together. We create a positive experience together. So it's not, we're not going to just throw them in a room together. This is for dogs. And by going through a walk, we create that nice positive association, and they're busy walking. So they're not focusing on like, what's he doing? What's he doing? And then this gives them a chance to like be near each other, not get upset, and then we can move inside. And also by going for a walk, we're not in one of their personal area where one might resource guard something. So nice way to set them up. And I keep them on leash and keep it simple. And then over time, do things together, puzzle games, do training together. By creating those positive associations together, we can really build that bond. It's important too, we need to make sure that that older dog, for me that was Maggie, is not left out when we bring a new dog into our household. They can be jealous and things. So if I'm training Rossi, I made sure Maggie had a job too. She can sit next to me and just get treats for sitting there.
That's great.
So, when I'm near him, all this awesome stuff comes out and I don't have to do anything. So being near him is really important and creates a nice association. And so kitties are a little bit different. I often will have the kitty behind a door and letting the dog, one person on one side of the door, one person on the other side of the door with the dog, and letting them sniff to the door. And cats kind of get interested in each other and the dog and sniffing each other, and let them paw under the door and kind of smell each other and have time to get to know each other. And then over time, let them smell each other. If you have like a X pen or baby area, you can set up so they can see each other but interact safely, setting them up. So one's not going to be like terrified. It's like, okay, he can't go attack me. He can't go chase me. And these baby steps and keeping it fun. If your cat loves treats, your dog loves treats, reward him, even petting for being near him. So it creates this positive association and just go slow. When you notice one's getting stressed out, give them a break. I do super short periods of training always. Even my own dogs, I do like 10, 15 minutes and then simple. And we're going to keep it short, keep it fun, and end it on a good note.
Awesome. Well, those are all some really good tips. So thank you. Oh my goodness. So cute.
That's right.
I think we got a couple questions from the audience. So Jeff behind the camera here has been gathering them.
Hi, Nicole. Yeah, we have probably more questions than we'll get to, but someone asked if you do any clicker training with your horse.
I do. My course, I clicker trained him with target training, which is basically teaching them to touch something. Rossi, excuse me, ready? Touch. Good. Well, you just use your nose. Good.
Marlie,
so
no.
touching his nose on an object is one of the first things I teach any dog, and I did it with the horse. For those that don't know what clicker training is, it's when we click with a clicker when our dog does the desired behavior exactly when he does it. It's an escalated form of training. I do clicker training, but I also will use a marker word in place of a clicker just because I have treats and a lot of animals and I don't always have a clicker on me. So if I'm training them and I say yes, they'll usually, there we go, look at me because they know I've trained that to be a marker that they've done a good job. But for the horse, I click with my tongue, I go, and that's kind of become my clicker. Just with the horse, I'm holding the horse and the treats and this marker, the stick, everything. So nice way to easily train them. And I have a video training my horse, I think on my Instagram or YouTube. So super fun. Definitely a different speed where my dog's super speedy at learning. The horse goes a little bit slower. So I have to understand all that and how to reward properly.
Awesome.
Another question is, you know, having worked with exotics and the horse, what was it that made you come to the realization that dogs were really your favorite?
Great question. The biggest thing is the bond. I love bonding with my animals, and my dog will work for me any day, no matter what I ask of him. If he's excited to go on a walk, he's excited to go hiking. So I can obviously do more. I do everything with my animals. They horseback ride with me. My dogs ride motorcycles with me. We skateboard together. We paddleboard together. They're very integrated part of my lifestyle. So beyond being able to do stuff together and build that connection, I love that he wants to work and do things and train just for the heck of doing it and for our love together. When, if we're honest, a bear is doing it for his marshmallows or his treats, and his tiger's doing it for his meat. And at the same time, if I'm not feeling well, I can just sleep in and cuddle my dog, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
A bear needs to get his work. A tiger needs to get his work in. And it's just a different sense of training, and I just love that bond with my animals of simple, fun, let's do this because we love each other at the end of the day, and not because I need to be worried that I'm going to get eaten. I know.
So I guess you're saying that there's kind of an emotional connection you can achieve with a dog that you really can't with some of the wilder animals or the exotics?
Absolutely, and I think you still can obviously bond with any animal, but I just think that canine bond is so unique and so special.
I agree.
Cats too, though. Cats, you can have that. You can have that. I feel an emotional bond to my Ernie.
Absolutely. But I love being home with my animals, and I like that if I'm sick, you can cuddle with the cat, cuddle with the dog. I don't need to be like, I need to watch my back if I don't feel well, that he might bite me and it could be dangerous. I'm not worried about that with my dogs.
That makes sense. This is not exactly a training question, but someone asked, how can I get my Great Dane to gain a couple of extra pounds in a healthy way?
There's lots of foods that are higher in protein. I would look at some dehydrated foods. Those kind of like chunk my dog up, like look at Primal, look at Ziwi. Ziwi is pretty high in not calories, but it has such a high meat protein rate that you don't need to feed that much of it. And so sprinkling some more in is a great way. And then do some training. Get those extra treats in there that way throughout the day. And make sure, obviously, nothing's wrong health-wise, but gaining a little bit extra, I'd say adding some dehydrated primal, sprinkle it on top of the food, some Ziwi, things like that.
Great.
Definitely helps them fill out a little bit more.
Awesome.
That's cool. I'll ask one more if we have time.
Yeah, let's do one more.
Yeah.
Can dogs have ADHD? Mine is just everywhere and then like sleeps for hours. So weird. That's the question.
Potentially, but I will say learning is a learned behavior. And like all dogs, we have to teach them how to pay attention. I get asked this a lot from puppies, and I haven't yet seen, knock on wood, a puppy that does have this, but I wouldn't be surprised because they do have brains just like us. And so when we're looking at things like that, it's like we need to teach them how to focus. We need to teach them how to sit still. That's not normal. For some dogs, I have to teach them to relax, to sit still. They are a working breed that's made to run in fields all day, perhaps chasing sheep. So it's, I'd say more so, and then eventually they've worked themselves up so much, they're just going to pass out. They're exhausted. So no matter how old your dog is, it's never too late or too early to start training. And by teaching simple things like a watch me or a touch, we can build up that duration and get that focus. I also highly recommend, if you have a dog that has a hard time focusing, training up on a platform. So you'll notice a lot of my videos, I use a training platform. If you don't have one, you can train on a chair, an ottoman, just make sure it's sturdy, that your dog's not going to fall. By elevating our dogs, we pick them up off the ground, there's less distractions, and they sort of focus a lot more. If we think back to the circus days with lions, they're all on pedestals for an exact reason. Our friend coming in, come on.
I didn't know that.
That's really interesting. And then you say that, of course, anytime you think of the circus, they're always up on a pedestal, always.
Exactly. So it's the same thing with our animals, and that's how I start all puppies. Oscar just came in, who's a standard poodle, and he loves his pedestal training, and it's a great way as a puppy, we got him to focus. Wow. And it's never too late. I've done this with a lot of older dogs as well, and it gives them the confidence. We pull them up higher, and they're all of a sudden right there. Hi, Oski.
Well, those are all really great tips, and if you're in the
bunch of questions how to train some things. If anyone goes to my page or my YouTube or anything, I have a ton of videos on how to quickly teach things such as a watch me or a touch. These are things you can literally spend 5 minutes on, and super simple things that we can help build that confidence together. So
awesome.
Jeff,
you have
I want to ask, we have so many questions, but I want to ask one more because I think a lot of people probably have this thought. But how do you help dogs who are fearful of odd noises and get scared a lot? And I know if you have a dog in the city, that happens quite a bit.
Absolutely. So as we discussed earlier, a big part of this is building up that confidence. So one's going to be through training, a great way scent training, something we did on the pack. And another one's through trick training. I love teaching, like I said, a touch. We can do it outside in a noisy environment, and it helps them refocus, get their attention back. And then breaking it down. So we don't want to be pushing a dog that he shuts down. So let's say, I have a cookie on the table, use my cookie. It's not for you. Let's say he's scared of a really loud sound. I'm going to slowly drop something. It's not too loud, and reward him, pet him. My friend.
Yeah, that makes sense.
During time, and then build up that noise. And we're going to do very short 5-minute sessions. So I can drop a plate, not a table, but something a little bit remote control, and reward him not for being nervous. And if I see signs of nervousness, might be yawning, lip licking, watch that body language. Is it dropping? If you film your dog, you'll learn so much watching it back. And look for those signs of stress and say, okay, that was too much. So let's bring it a little bit. And I'm going to just do it a little bit quieter and end it there. For example, for puppies, I tell people, start playing firework videos on your computer at a really low volume for an hour, 10 minutes even. Just reward them so it becomes nothing. And then over time, we can make it louder and louder. And it's the same thing with us humans. If we hear something really scary, we're going to jump. We're going to be startled. So we need to teach them loud things aren't so scary. We're going to work through it together. But this isn't a quick thing. You're not going to do it in one session. Like, there's a lot I can train in one session, but going over building up confidence and getting over a loud sound is not going to be it. And that's fine. It's a great way to bond together. And it's something we worked with our dogs on the show. We didn't just start with cameras chasing behind them. We started with the cameras far away, and we got closer and closer, so it became no big deal. So taking those baby steps and ending on a high note. We don't want to end where our dog's nervous. So if you have to go all the way back to the beginning where you're very lightly dropping something and rewarding him, and rewarding could be giving him a treat, petting him, talking to him, that's totally fine. And then ending it there, but end it positively.
Awesome. Great tips. And for those watching, if you have some training needs or you just want to educate yourself, make sure you check out Nicole on Instagram at NA Ellis. That's your handle, correct?
Yeah, perfect.
Check it out. She's got a lot of great content. And we want to thank you. Marlie kind of scooched off to the side here. She's already asleep. But we want to thank you so much for taking the time, especially on your vacation.
Oh, no,
to chat with us
absolutely.
today.
No, super fun. And I hope some people get motivated to train some simple things. Literally 5-10 minutes is all it takes. And there's never too much you can learn. My dogs skateboard and do handstands. So sky's the limit.
That's awesome. And for those of you who haven't yet, check out Nicole's work on the Pack and Pooch Perfect. Both really great shows. You will not regret it if you are a pup lover and an animal lover in general. So thank you again, Nicole. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. We wish you guys a really good weekend, and we hope to speak to you soon.
Thanks, everybody. We had so much fun.
All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you, and goodbye.